The Jim and Tara Show. We've still got fuel in our tanks. We've got coffee in our mugs. We've got... I don't know what we got. Have you heard?
Does hemorrhoids count?
Head noise?
Hemorrhoids. No,
Hemorrhoids.
and I don't have them. I was just being funny. You said I could run this one.
Yes,
you said I could run this one.
I said I'm going to release the hounds of creativity and let Jim take
Are
the mic.
hemorrhoids really aliens?
Oh my God, I didn't expect that one.
I haven't got a clue what, like,
Well,
really...
we're still under the theme of Jim and Terry Save the World, and we're starting with America.
Well, in carrying on with that theme then, now the Constitution has been reestablished, but now what? Does the new government, how could it go after the old government without ruffling the feathers of 70 million people?
Good question. Will it be to round them all up, as some people that I know suggested with the Durham report? They're going to round up Hollywood elites, all the people who are sucking babies' bloods and sacrificing children. Pedophiles are us, which would be the Epstein file people. They're all rounded up and going on barges to Guantanamo Bay. Is that the way to handle a post?
Too many people. Too many people, too many angry people, too many very violent angry people with guns. That's why your Constitution's changed. You got to get their guns. Now you got to get it off them.
Ooh.
But I got another twist and turn to this whole thing as well. I think when
this is your book.
When the end comes, no, this is worldwide. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Trump is a betrayer. He's betrayed Ukraine. I believe, probably betrayed Taiwan. I don't know yet if he's released that money. If not, that's at the whim of China. He's betrayed them. He's betrayed Canada, other nations, but nothing more as much as Canada when it comes to trade. We were your brother. We trusted you. He's betrayed them, and he's going to betray Israel because Netanyahu, he's going to say something. Trump wants to be the man who calls the shots, and the thing he's going to do is he's going to pull the funds from Netanyahu is going to pull the funds from Israel, opening the doors. America is going to do nothing while now the Arab world decides to take them.
Oh.
And so what will happen is Israel, it'll be reminded of the atrocities. And I support Israel, but there has been atrocities by Israel, horrible atrocities. The world's going to see that, and they're going to make a go for it. They're going to want to wipe Israel out. America will be a bystander, or it'll choose not to do anything, or it will be the Great Babylon, and just something made it fall. Maybe a regime change that the population couldn't take, and it would be deemed useless because they can't form. They're now forming again. And then that'll be the end. The whole world will march against Israel. And then, the other end of the story.
Okay, well, that's your apocalyptic biblical version of things, the Revelation. And I would say regime change, let's start with America.
All right.
Okay, so if they can do that to everybody else, then everybody else can surely do it to them. What's fair in love and war?
Yeah.
You do it to somebody, they can do it to you. So I would say that's on the table for somebody. I don't know who
but is that regime change done in a different way that we can't see? In other words, other than going to war and blowing the crap out of somebody.
I wouldn't want to do that. That's not regime change.
Just like Khrushchev said.
Yeah, from the
inside
out.
We will destroy you from within.
Yep.
So now you put someone in power, you keep telling that person, you're Putin, and you're telling Donald Trump he's the greatest person that's ever been. Netanyahu knows how to do that wonderful. Best president ever been.
That's
greatest friend ever to Israel. You're just wonderful. You're just so wonderful. Maybe that's the plan. That he becomes so self-wonderful that when the regime changes, his sycophants and all his followers can't let it go. And if they can't let it go, now you've got disruption in the American to the point where they become impotent. They can't do anything because they can't organize themselves. All kinds of scenarios, all kinds of ways of looking at what could possibly happen, right? It would be hard to change this regime now. Trump has wrecked things. He's ruined it.
Yeah, well...
that's my opinion.
Yeah, to some extent, I would argue that you're right. I mean, he's taken universities, he's sued universities. Who does that? He does.
Yeah.
Who sued Wall Street Journal? Who sued New York Times? Who sued the media companies?
Yeah.
Trump has. Who does that? Trump. Yeah, it's broken. It's a real corrupt situation.
Hasn't he sued whole countries?
I think he sued everybody.
Yeah. So that's
Has
how
he paid E. Jean Carroll yet?
No, but
No,
now
of
now
course
now
not.
she's investigated. They're investigating her.
Of course.
Yeah, of course, because his puppets
Yep.
are in place.
Yep.
And so when the final change of government takes place, it's not going to be as easy as just, okay, we'll put a new
No.
general in charge of defense.
Well, I suggested that there be would we start with a Guantanamo Bay, because that's what conservatives and far-right extremists, the religious people of Project 2025, claimed was going to happen to Hollywood and to Democrats, that they were rounded up and put on barges. So my question was, a reasonable person will not take that course of action because it's so disturbing to everybody. You would not want to see that. That would break your country right there, because it would be half your country, the blue states, who would be rounded up. Your blue politicians, your blue actors and actresses, your blue media, everything would go, and that would break the country. That was, what kind of American are you? Well,
Yeah.
you got to get it together.
But you see, I think that's part, if not exactly what's going to happen. Divide and conquer.
True.
A house divided against itself will fall.
True.
And Trump successfully parted those waters. He's got right and he's got left. And by George, you better stick to it. And so now you got millions and millions and millions and millions of angry people because you ousted their God. And you know, and then you got the others that are trying to cling to law and order. But I can't see it pulling together. I really, honest to God, can't.
Well, I think there's going to be a shift, and I don't think it's going to be Democrats and Republicans. I think there will be the great uprising of the middle. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Oh, the uprising.
The uprising of the middle.
But
so
again,
it looks like your your standard bell curve.
But
that is the middle.
What you're going to have to get through, checkpoints. Actually,
I wouldn't like to see that.
I wouldn't like to see it either. But what in the middle of this middle ground rising up, it's exactly what you said. Yeah, what kind of American are you? So now you got middle class Trumpers, and you got middle class, and you got farmers who are for Trump, believed all his lies. You got farmers that say this is horrible.
Well, I think you have to get rid of those people. The farmers are turning their back on Trump, so that's my first sign of hope, that you now join an independent party. I don't know what you would call it.
No, it's called an independent nation, Terry. That's what it's called.
I don't think we
now
want
you got
an
California wanting to be California. You've got the Midwest thinking we better just look after ourselves. We could make some good deals with Canada and around the world without Trump. And then you've got all the other places that are going to stick and want to be America.
So
now you got borders.
So what happened to E pluribus unum, out of the many one? What
I
happened?
haven't had that since I was 18.
Oh, what were you smoking then? Yeah, okay.
That's just... I know I'm
That's
negative.
it's pretty hostile, but we got to figure it out, because people smarter than us are sitting down having these discussions, and they, I hope, have answers better than the Jim and Terry show
Or they're
can
sitting there
offer.
going, what the hell are we going to do?
Well, I'm sure that's the starting point of every conversation, but with our coffee and our conversation comes hope. Hope of a middle. Hope of a meeting of the minds, or at least...
Well, the anarchists,
sort of.
I think, might get their way, possibly. In other words, everything falls.
Yeah.
And then out from the ashes comes a new democracy. If it's a
Well,
democracy.
that's how it works in Zombieland. I don't know how it works in real life.
I haven't seen any. I've only saw one Brad Pitt zombie thing.
That was terrifying enough.
Yeah. But when you realistically look at it, it isn't as easy as what we hope. I'm thinking if you start and look at the balances and the fanaticism that's on both sides, and people can't see past their own self-interest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then what are you going to do? It's just like that movie, Civil War. What kind of American are you?
Well, that bell curve middle, and I use my hands doing that big bell curve, the grading curve that we used to use on classes. There are many who are in the middle, some who are really good and some who are really bad, who don't know what's going on. But the middle, that's where the majority of votes should be. So who on the MAGA crowd, you're so upset with Trump that he's not giving you...
You have to organize those elections here.
How
do you do that?
How do you get these people to vote for whatever?
Yeah.
Well,
the only way you could really do it is to have the current government that's replaced the previous government come together collectively and say, we know we have
enough is enough.
Enough is enough. We know we have a situation. This is your new government. We're the old government. And together, we're going to work to make sure there's fair elections and everything else. That ain't going to happen.
No.
Because the head of that movement will never admit he's wrong and never say he's sorry.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I am sure a way forward is to find more common ground in the middle. How you do that, I'm not sure, but it isn't by finger wagging and taking licenses away from news stations. It isn't by calling people dumb as a brick, which is what he said about, I forget, there's a reporter who just dumb as
So he's gonna have to go.
Yes, and that's where I thought when you said ashes, when America rise from the ashes, it was his ashes.
That's what I did mean.
Okay.
But then you got a place like California that, let's say now the United States is in turmoil. Things aren't working. They decide to not go on their own, but make business deals on their own, as if a federal government. Now you've got another problem.
That's the beginning
and
of
then
the problem.
New York says, hey, look, we're as powerful. Texas says, we're as powerful as them. Now you're divided into three.
Don't let the complications stop you from acting. The Jim and Terry Show may be complicated, but there's a way forward. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
It's complicated, this relationship I have with my morning coffee. It's from the way that I breathe.